Welcome, Leo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I pulled as your overall energy the Four of Swords for the month of May. This is about you needing to take a break, to step back from a series of challenges that you're facing. I do feel like you're going through a real difficult time understanding how you got in a situation that you're in right now, and you're using your high heart, knowing to pierce through the events, perhaps the origin story of the challenges you're facing, in order to come to some kind of acceptance and peace of where you are now, and ultimately your gratitude for being able to be here, to be in perhaps a challenging situation which you're uniquely qualified to support in some way. So there's ultimately a lot of gratitude for what you're experiencing, because the new moon in Taurus that is upcoming is in your 10th house. I'm thinking that this has to do with a parent. There can be a parent who is sick, who is ailing, that needs your assistance in some way. And when I turn over the deck, I see the Four of Cups, so another four. So there is some real ability you have had, you've gained in finding what makes you feel good. And in this particular situation, pulling towards the things that support you, the things that value you and recognize you, you are sharing that sense of grace and gratitude with someone in particular who it feels that you are responsible for, or that you are helping out in a time of crises. In the 10th house, the Hermit card is a card that comes up so often for you, Leo. This is about the way you're showing up in the world, in your world. You are getting the information you need. You're asking yourself the critical questions about this inquiry that you are in the midst of. This inquiry that wants to understand how you came to this particular challenge as a result, perhaps, of your family of origin story. So if you are having some particular responsibility for loved ones of any sort, they need not be a parent, but of anyone, you're really understanding why you are uniquely positioned to be of assistance. What you learn, you're willing to share with those that you are responsible for and others. Even in your position of employment or your profession, you are finding out information and you're bringing it back to the team so that they can better understand their options. And this is precisely your role in any situation. In the first house, the Nine of Wands is describing, in this situation, it is about your repeated attempts to achieve something. And I believe this achievement is about the perspective you are now understanding is serving you best in being available to someone or someones who need you. You are better understanding your good health, your comfortable environment, the tools, the intelligence you have to be available, to bring back information, to do whatever is required to express the love, the caring, the gratitude you have for someone who is in your charge, someone who almost presents the opportunity to gain this information, to seek or explore or discover information that you are now pursuing hotly. You're an ambassador in some way, but this has been hard for you. This has been very challenging, very draining. You can feel overwhelmed, not only by the circumstance itself, but by what is being asked of you. You feel like you're sometimes pulling from an empty well. But you are determined to make the impact that you see as necessary at this time. In the fourth house, this is the house of your home, your family, your roots and foundation. The devil, again, is confirming this idea that you're breaking out or breaking away from a false system, one that you perhaps have always seen superficially as not the best, but you have until now really not understood the consequences of this toxicity, this poor habit. This can be the consequence of some kind of abuse that you have experienced or observed in your childhood story. This can be the consequence you're observing that someone else is receiving as a result of how they didn't care for themselves, how they gave in to temptation, allowed themselves to be abused by something. And that substance can be anything. It doesn't have to be a drug or something unhealthy. It can be an attitude, a habit that builds toxicity. Maybe it's the way that they never were able to hold a job or had difficulty in being respectful to other members of the family. I'm using that as an example, kind of sticking with the theme of your perhaps needing to be available to someone, to an intimate who's in peril. In the seventh house of your significant others, the Queen of Cups. Although this is not your card in general, I feel very much that you are learning its lessons. You are becoming a mistress of how to care for self, how to heal self. You're taking all these challenges you're experiencing and you're really allowing yourself to feel the feels, to identify the experience that perhaps you stuffed down in the past, or perhaps you covered over, masked over in a way that allowed you to escape dealing with the feelings. And these feelings can be anything from appreciation, gratitude, to the feelings of sadness, feeling drained, feeling pulled upon inappropriately, or bonding inappropriately with family members in a way that isn't comfortable, that inclines you to put the needs of others over yourself. And you're now teaching yourself how to not only choose yourself, but to feed and fuel yourself. Understanding that it isn't about pushing away feelings, it's about looking at them, finding out more information, discovering their root cause, and then confronting those aspects of yourself that are uncomfortable. It feels like you have assistance in this process as well, and that is to be encouraged. This is not something you should be going through alone. If you have a loved one, a counselor, a friend, a health provider who is able to steer you in a safe way. I hope this reading is resonating for you, Leo. If so, please like and share this reading. And subscribe to my channel, of course. Comment if you're so inclined. And I pulled, again, the same card that I pulled for Aries, self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And it's so interesting because I absolutely see you building upon your self-esteem, your acknowledgement, your self-acknowledge, claiming your right to privilege your needs and desires over that of others. But it is something that has been hard for you to truly understand. It seems as though from your conditioning, you saw someone giving and giving until it hurt them. And in a way, that is an automatic response you have to a choice, any choice that you make, to defer to the authority, the boss here. You have strong energies of masculine assertiveness in your life, and that doesn't necessarily mean men per se. It can include the women in your life who are assertive, who are outspoken, who often act before they think. And this is something you are recognizing is a weakness, not a strength. And so you're really adjusting the sense of purpose and authenticity within yourself to match what you present on the outside. I'm going to clarify the 9 of Wands in the first house with the 8 of Pentacles. And this shows me that you are working hard on your self-development. Whatever you do in the world, you have learned the kind of open-hearted equity and appreciation of the contribution of others, that you feel comfortable working with others, but you need to understand your role in order to fulfill it efficiently. That is built into you. There's even a sense here that you are cautious of working too hard for someone else. In this particular case, and I'm feeling back into the situation where you're helping someone, you're willing to do whatever it takes. You're willing to learn whatever you need to learn in order to be successful in your assistance of someone else in need. This is really beautiful. You didn't know how hard you can work, and this can also be a feature of parenthood. A lot of times we're cautious of the work that others might demand of us, but when it comes to our own loved ones, we surprise ourselves by the amount of work that we can joyfully accomplish when it's in the interest of serving someone who needs our assistance. In the 4th house, the Devil card is clarified by the Magician. This is really beautiful because I do feel like you are getting to the root here of some kind of abuse, some kind of injustice, some kind of imbalance that perhaps occurred in your family of origin, and that you have continued to repeat a behavioral pattern that has denied you of your real authentic expression. Mimicking the steps or mimicking the opposite steps of what you saw in childhood, as an example, has made you feel as though you could make choices that didn't necessarily come from your own heart. It felt as though there was a picture of success or happiness that you had stuck in your mind. It may have been opposite to what your conditioning would lead one to believe. The picture you saw at home wasn't the picture you wanted to duplicate, and you thought you were doing something differently. Now you're in a position where you have done the inner work to understand who you are, independent of your family's circumstance, perhaps because of it. Whatever the source for you is, you're more and more comfortable acknowledging that, allowing yourself to express that, and understanding that your thought enables your success. It shapes your reality. So this is against thinking that nothing's going to work out for me, or I only can be with somebody who has a lot of money. Those are two examples of thoughts. To, I can have whatever I want as a result of my willingness and ability to work for it. And that's a complete reversal of energies. And the Queen of Cups in the 7th house is clarified by the 5 of Cups here. And this is really, again, as part of your own growth, your own liberation, I would say. You continue to look back over circumstances, failures, disappointments you've experienced in order to see the through line within yourself. What is it about my actions, my behaviors that prompted me to choose something that didn't work for me over and over again? And what have I learned from it? What you've learned is there, available, and ready to go. So the path of your own deeper connection to yourself is the path that leads you through the snow towards the sunrise, the sunset, the mountains. Those are the goals that you wish to accomplish. But it is really in self-love, self-respect, honoring your own desires and needs first as a way of providing them adequately for others. And in the 10th house, the Hermit is clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. And the 2 of Pentacles is really quite a big charge. It looks simple. It looks like juggling, right? Lots of us do that all the time. But this is a deeper juggling. This is about all your human experience, perhaps in this life and perhaps from the past, through to infinity. Your soul has been here before, and you brought in lessons from your past lives that you are integrating into this life. And thus so you are creating new possibilities, new path of discovery in the future, certainly in this life. I'm going to finish up this reading, Leo, with a crystal oracle, and hope sincerely that this reading has been insightful for you. I saw this one first out of my eye, and it is the fire agate, creativity. So glad that we're back in the land of fire, which has been somewhat missing from your reading today. We have some of that energy in your stubborn determination, your unending conviction that you're going to get what it is you are looking, that is going to assist others. I allow the creativity of my soul to shine through into my world. If you've enjoyed this content, Leo, please check out this. And until next time, namaste.